Okay, I have some messages here. I've been talking to Charlie Gray, and I haven't been able to talk to Daryl Comstock. His transmission has been too broken out in that area. Okay, I have some messages here. I've been talking to Charlie Gray, and I haven't been able to talk to Daryl Comstock. His transmission has been too broken out in that area. I have a message here. Mr. and Mrs. Robert Heights were on their way to Indian House.
Inside the Civil Defense Headquarters here at the Public Safety Building at 5th and 6th and C. First of all, we have a very important message for all electricians and plumbers of Fort Richardson. All electricians and plumbers of Fort Richardson, please go to Building 700 immediately. All electricians and plumbers of Fort Rich, go to Building 700 immediately. Howard Forbes would like it be known that he will be at Mike Whitmore's. A message to Kenneth Sadler. Mrs. Sadler is fine. Kenneth Sadler is out in the bush and listens on a transistor radio. Mrs. Sadler is fine. A message to Walter Hart at Kenai. A message to Walter Hart at Kenai. Lee Hart is fine. Jim Murphy and Bill Somerville at Point Hope. Your families are A-OK. Mr. and Mrs. R.W. Fisher have lost their children. They can't find them. Mr. and Mrs. Fisher are at the home of Charles Ball. Mr. and Mrs. Fisher are at R.W. Fisher are at the home of Charles Ball. They have lost their children. Boy Scout troop that went overnight to McCute Creek left at 4 o'clock yesterday, due back today. Are due back tomorrow. Bill Noble would like to get a message, if at all possible, as to their whereabouts and if they are all right.
My foot, and none of them were broken, and so I got through. I just cut myself a little bit on, and so just as I got out the window, I saw the flight tower. It just cracked together like a piece of match. It didn't fall; it more or less fell into itself, and just within seconds, it collapsed more or less, right?
Spot, huh?
And as we ran right towards it, and we could see already some cracks on the runway, a little bit right near the airport. Tried to help some of the people up there. One was just coming out. His head was bloody, but he was injured. But he seemed to be all right for the first few minutes. And one person who was jammed in, and I'm afraid he might be a fatality. That's not for sure yet. We were able to get out two people on the bottom who were in the flight kitchen, a waitress and a cook. It took us a half hour to dig them out with saw and jacks and everything else. But
how many people in the area there managed to escape and assist in the rescue operations at International Airport?
I think in the flight tower, these were the only really injured people. The rest of them were able to run out somewhere or the other. So I think those two people which were in the flight kitchen and were jammed in for about an hour, plus that one person on the tower, that FAA man, I think these were the only three injured persons that I know of.
Was there any panic in the area at the time, Chris?
Oh, there most certainly was. Everybody was...
Panic or just excitement?
For the first moment there was panic, but as soon as it started to slow down... But then it got organized pretty fast. There was...
Let me tell you, we're going to have a place now. I've lived in Alaska for over 35 years, and everybody in the country knows old Happy Jack. And let me tell you again. Let me tell you, we're going to have a place now. I've lived in Alaska for over 35 years, and everybody in the country knows old Happy Jack. And let me tell you again that we're going to have a place to live, and if we think of one for all and all for one. And I'm speaking for all of us. And we've got the people down here that fight for one another, and all for one and one for all. And we want you to join us, and we'll join you. Let's live as a people, and for our country. Let's make a country out of a country. We're going to go places if we just put that away. We're going to have a dock that'll take 10 ships here. We'll take a sea train. We'll take a barge. We'll take anything. That's the kind of people we are. Yeah, you know, in the morning, when the rooster gets up, he jumps upon the fence post, wakes up all the animals. He says, and the dog barks and says, and the farmer comes out and looks at the star and sees the old mother sow feeding her pigs, and she says, and the little pigs getting their breakfast. And the little colt runs up from the field and says, wah, wah. And the farmer pets his nose and the cow says, and the little calf wanting his breakfast says, and the cat rubs up against the farmer's leg and says, and the little kitten underneath the porch looking out says, meow, meow, meow. And the cat gets mad at the dog and says, meow, meow. And the farmer comes in and the dog wants to get in the house and he scratches and he says, and the farmer lets him in and the meadowlark wants his breakfast and says,